In terms of James Madison, he's such a crucial player for you. He proved that before the break. What is the kind of latest on him and what your expectations are in terms of when you can get him back? Has it changed at all?
No timeline on it. It's day to day. He's working with the medical team, and clearly we want him back as soon as possible. Like some of the other players, we've got 5 players that you consider to be starting players for us that are out. So James, along with those players, we hope will be back, but I've got no time scale on that.
So in terms of those players you're talking about, will any of them be back in time for tomorrow?
Same squad as the weekend, so that means no.
While we're just looking at your squad, we're in January, of course, so you are working behind the scenes to try and add to your squad. Any update there? Are you any closer to bringing any new players in?
Well, the club are working hard behind the scenes to try and do some work, so hopefully we can tell you as soon as we get some in. But there's definitely, there's a lot of work going on behind it all to hopefully improve the squad.
For you as a manager, is it essentially you try and get them in as quickly as possible, as early in this window as possible?
Yeah, that's always, you'd always want them in on the 1st of January if you can, but it's never normally as easy as that. So yeah, the guys will get that done as quick as they can.
In terms of this game against Newcastle, there is a semi-final in the League Cup at stake. Is this your biggest game of the season so far, would you say?
It's a fantastic game, I think. Listen, we've got experience now in cup competitions, and we always treat them seriously, and this here is an absolutely brilliant game for us. We only played Newcastle a few weeks ago, didn't show our true selves in the first 10 minutes. We shot ourselves in the foot. So St James's Park's an amazing place to go and play. The atmosphere will be great, and but that's what you want as a player and a manager, to be able to go into games like this here. And it's also, if you're going to do well in cup competitions, you have to win some tough games home and away. So we're really looking forward to the challenge of that, and we know that we have the capacity to get a good result.
What were the lessons that you took from that defeat against Newcastle last month, and does it give the players that extra bit of motivation to go out and put things right after that performance? Yeah,
there's no doubt it came as a surprise to us. So the lessons in that, you can't start like that. You can't make those mistakes that against a really good side. So it's important we stay strong in that first 20 minutes. You make no mistakes, and then but you start well yourselves and look to play with that attacking mentality. So yeah, but you can't make mistakes like we did and not expect to get punished.
Newcastle slipped up at the weekend in the FA Cup, but they've been particularly strong at St James's Park, yet to be beaten there. What's been the secret, do you think, to their season? What has made them so strong this season?
I think it's a combination of a number of things. I think that Eddie, obviously, in terms of his management and coaching, has done great with the players that he has. I think the investment and recruitment into the squad has been very, very good. So that's given them a real strong base to work from. And then the confidence and the support. It's an amazing stadium to go and play in. The passion and the how fanatical the supporters are and how they back their team. So I think if you combine that with the team playing well and playing with intensity, then that makes it a difficult place to go. And it has always been that. It's one of the few grounds I've always felt I've loved going to be involved in a game there, because it's it feels like a real occasion when you go to St James's Park. And of course now they're doing very well and been consistently playing well. Then of course it's I'm sure it's really hard to get a ticket there. So a mixture of everything really. But they've made a really, really good start to the league, and of course they'll be disappointed from the weekend, but they'll want to make a semi-final like we do on tomorrow night.
you talk about the atmosphere, their fans will be desperate for some success in a cup competition. So that atmosphere could be even bigger tomorrow night. What will you say to your players in terms of dealing with that, and can they thrive off that?
Yeah, listen, it's these types of atmospheres that you're playing for. But we know we can. You just have to stay calm and keep that control. Of course, you're playing with emotion in the game. As I say, you have to defend strong. You have to have maximum concentration and maximum commitment. And of course, it can work the other way. If you start well yourselves, then it can leave a tension and nervousness in the ground. So, but I think from the start out, it should be a great evening's football, and we're looking forward to it.
You know what it does for a club to win a trophy, a big trophy. You experienced it recently with the FA Cup. Before that, this club had won the league title as well. But this competition, it's been a while, hasn't it? It'd be nice to add this trophy to the cabinet too in these recent times. Yeah,
it would be. I think, like I said, we've always tried to be honest in our approach in the competitions, even though it's a challenge for us with the depth of squad that we have. To be challenged, you're looking to be going on all fronts, but we put out teams to win the games, and this is a quarter-final game with a chance of a two-leg semi-final, which is a great opportunity for us. So yeah, we're in these competitions to try and win them, and if we play as well as we can, then we know we have a chance.
How do you feel about your form at the moment? From that defeat against Newcastle, the next couple of games in the Premier League, do you feel like your form is building, it is improving?
Yeah, I think performance-wise, I didn't think we deserved to lose against Fulham, and against Liverpool, I didn't think we deserved to lose. However, you can't make mistakes, and that's what we've got punished for in those two games and in the Newcastle game. So the games where we were having good run before the World Cup, we limit it to no mistakes. So concentration has to be high, and if you can do that, then we always believe that we can score goals. So that's what's important. So getting back to our process again, not making mistakes, and the performance level has been okay.
Great, thank you.
Thank you.
Hi, Brendan.
Hi.
Okay. I just wondered if I could ask about some of the timelines on three of your players that are injured at the moment. I know Kieran Dewsbury-Hall, you said, was a glute problem. How long are you expecting to be without him for now?
He's due out onto the pitch on Friday, so we'll see and assess from there how that goes. So so we'll take it from there.
I'm sure he'll be desperate to play against Forest as well. Bouba Soumaré had a hamstring, you said. How is he? Similar timeline? No,
he'll be a wee bit longer. I think his 4 to 6 weeks from when it happened was the diagnosis.
Okay. And Dennis Pratt, we saw he got a knee to the side. Is it just that was the injury itself, and how long is he going to be out for now?
Yeah, he's been in quite a bit of pain around his rib and down into his hip. So we're just again assessing that. He's been out on the pitch, but been non-contact. So it's a delicate one for him at the moment. So we're just trying to see day by day how it eases off, and then he's still not quite ready for contact yet.
Okay. You mentioned that it would be the same squad heading to Newcastle. We would assume that Casey McAteer and Lewis Brunt would be part of that as well. How good as an experience is this for them, playing at a place like Frisco Stadium, which is smaller and has that atmosphere, as well as being part of a bigger stadium, which is a Premier League stadium, having that kind of same vociferous atmosphere?
Yeah, well, it's all about learning, especially as a young player. So it's taking everything in and really being a sponge to everything. And if you play, come and perform, and if you don't, watch and observe and see what lessons you can learn. So, but no, they've been training with us for a little while, so they've done well at the weekend. It's good for them to get playing in a difficult place and conditions and everything, but they came through, both of them, really well.
We're 9 days into the transfer window now. I wonder for you as the manager, when you would, if you would get concerned at any point during the window, because it is quite short, if the players didn't start coming through the door.
Well, listen, I have to respect the club and them to get the deals over the line. So like I said, I know the work that goes on. Listen, every manager will tell you the same. You'd love to be able to bring them in as early as you possibly can, especially with the run of games that we've got and some of the players we have out. But I can only concentrate in this moment on the players that are here, and I'm sure in time we'll get the players in.
If you're not able to have a successful window, I know you mentioned 3 different positions. What do you think that would mean for the rest of the season?
It's just going to be a challenge. You know, I think if last 2 windows we brought in 1 outfield player, you go through a 3rd one and you don't do anything, then it just makes it a challenge. So, but no, listen, the club it was a challenging summer for us, but they've said clearly there'll be some funds to do some work, and if we can do that and then get the players back, then it can be a really good second part of the season for us. But until that happens, I can only work with the players that we have and make the best of what we have at this current time, and the players are giving everything, so I can't complain.
Final one from you, Brendan, but ahead of tomorrow night, what would reaching a semi-final mean to you, the players and the club, after the kind of season that you've had so far, which has had a lot of ups and downs?
Yeah, it'd be fantastic. I think that's the aim. You know, we go into these competitions with a view to get into the finals. So we've got to this far. We know it's a tough game away at Newcastle, but it will be a tough game for them as well. So we have to bring our best game there and deal with everything that gets thrown at us. But it's something that we've dealt with before and came through really well. So yeah, it'll be great. It's another step towards where we want to go. But let's take on the challenge.